Hi there, it's me, Lillian Lartey from I Want My Body Back, and helping you to eat and feel amazing and break through emotional eating, food cravings, bloating, and improve your relationship with food, as well as helping you to get your bodies healthier, fitter, and stronger. Now, I've realised over, particularly in the past few weeks, a few people have been approaching me and asking me my opinion about giving up sugar, giving up wheat, dairy, meat, all sorts of food substances simply because I've given those up. I've chosen not to eat them for one thing or another. And so people have just been seeking out my advice on it. And it's been quite interesting to come across people's reasons, or not even having any reasons, as to why they're choosing to quit eating these food sources. So I thought I'd put a video together and go through 4 of the main mistakes that I often come across when people are choosing and they say they want to quit eating wheat or gluten or meat, but they're not really prepared enough to be able to sustain that for a long period of time. So number 1 is not really knowing why you want to quit eating sugar, whether it's wheat, gluten, meat, soy, dairy, anything like that, any food substance. Why do you want to quit doing it? You've got to have a good reason why. What are the main reasons for you? Looking at someone else because they've quit it and they've got good results, or they've lost weight doing it, or whatever reason, you've got to have a good reason, because when you actually go through the process of stopping eating these food substances, you will start to experience withdrawal symptoms. And sometimes experiencing those withdrawal symptoms, people find it so hard that they go back to eating that food substance again. So I always ask, well, why did you quit in the first place? Why did you choose not to eat the substance in the first place? So for me, it's always having that good reason as to why you want to, quit eating that food substance. The second reason is, or the second mistake I often come across people not realizing, is that they don't understand how food actually works in the body. What is the purpose of these food sources? Especially, we're looking at natural food sources here. We're not looking at processed foods. So we're looking at meat. What's the process? What's the purpose of meat, protein, animal protein in our bodies? What's the purpose of dairy? What's the purpose of wheat? What's the purpose of gluten? What's the purpose of sugar? It's understanding it and not putting these or labeling these foods as bad foods. We can't eat them. We shouldn't eat them. This is what it does to the body, etc. Because it depends on how you combine your foods as to how it interacts with your body and with your mind. Okay, so it's understanding that as well. And the third mistake I often come across, I find that people make when they're quitting eating a food substance, is they leave a void. Okay, I remember I did this myself, so I'm speaking from experience. When I decided to stop eating meat, I think it was the first time, because I stopped eating meat like over 20 years ago. And then what I did was I looked for healthier or other alternatives. So some of these brands are available, but they're vegetable based, but they taste like chicken or they taste like meat. So you're eating it because you feel, oh yeah, it's like meat. Or the dairy alternatives, you stop eating cow's milk or traditional animal dairy, but you're looking for an alternative that tastes like it. So it's like, well, why did you quit eating it in the first place if you find that you miss it? It's simply because you've left a void. So it's about, if dairy doesn't agree with you from a physiological point of view, then maybe you can look for an alternative, but have a good reason why. Don't just quit one of the food sources and then look for a healthy alternative. Or, for example, I'll give you another example, particularly with sugar, and I'm guilty of this because I quit eating sugar and one time, and then I looked for healthier alternatives. So even though I stopped eating refined sugar, I was still using coconut sugar, or I was still using fruit sugar. So I was still getting sugar. So I hadn't quit sugar. And also another mistake people make, particularly on the sugar thing, is they say they're going to quit sugar, but then they fail to realize that when we eat carbohydrates, when we eat food and we take it into our body will still process the food and turn it into a form of sugar in the form of glucose. So you're still taking in sugar. So you can't completely quit sugar. So it's really understanding what the purpose and the process of food is to our bodies. And the last mistake is that I realize people make when they quit these food substances is it's not about the food substance itself, it's about your relationship with food. Your relationship with food on an emotional level and a physical level. Your relationship with food on an emotional level in the sense of majority of people, because we operate out of our subconscious mind, which is 95% of our brain. So we're eating according to certain patterns that we've learned along the way from childhood, certain patterns, certain beliefs we have around food, why we shouldn't eat food, this is what the food does to me, etc., etc. And then we develop this distaste or negativity towards food, so therefore we quit it. Secondly, your physical relationship with food. Yes, sometimes when we eat food, it reacts in our guts in a certain way, especially when your gut is unhealthy. In my case, I found out quite recently I had candida, which is an overgrowth of bad bacteria fungal infection. So of course, any food, a majority of carbohydrate foods, refined carbohydrates, sugars in particular, that I consumed would react negatively in my body. So therefore, I had to look at the process of quitting it for a while. And I'm still in that process and in reintroducing back certain foods back into my eating pattern. So by all means, you know, if you decide, yes, I want to quit eating sugar, meat, dairy, whatever it is that you decide to quit, whatever food source it is, caffeine, etc., alcohol, know these 4 points that I've mentioned, yeah? Have a good reason. Why are you quitting it? Why are you stopping it? Yeah. Number 2, what does the food source actually do for your body? What's its purpose? Okay. Number 3, have you left a void, which will then cause you to then go and look for other so-called healthy, quote unquote, alternatives, but then lead you back into the process of, you know, not eating correctly. And then number 4, it's not about the food substance. Seriously, it's not. It's about your relationship with the food. So, pass this video on, share it with your friends, family, those who are thinking about quitting, eating certain food substances, sugar, dairy, meat, alcohol, whatever it is, caffeine, okay? For those who you see are struggling with that, share this video with them, okay? And if you need any help in being able to go through the process in an easier way, because it can be done easily. Like I said, I've stopped eating meat for about, I think, 20 years now, as well as dairy. I don't eat soy. That doesn't agree with me. Sugar, I've now quit. And other substances as well. Gluten, wheat, again, doesn't agree with me. So there are alternatives, but there's a process in which you can do this safely and easily for your body so that you don't deny it of its nutrients. That's another mistake. Okay. Mistake number 5. Here we go. Mistake number 5 is when you cast out, you quit those food substances, and then you leave your body nutritionally deficient. That is another major mistake that I find. So therefore, people feel worse for wear, particularly if you quit meat. Okay, chances are you'll either develop anemia, or you develop an anemia to B12, vitamin B12. So that's another mistake. When you quit these food substances, you leave yourself nutritionally deficient. So it's important to understand, if you know, right, that's it, wheat doesn't agree with me, caffeine doesn't agree with me, etc., etc., what nutrition are you leaving yourself deficient in? So there's some points for you to cover. Again, share it with your friends, family who are quitting food substances and they need some help in this process. And if you want to develop a healthier relationship with food, then contact me, send me a message, and I'll be here to help you. Take care. Bye for now.